Deployment of large language model is complex. Configuring the right virtual machine instances with suitable CPU, GPU, and RAM, and setting up the entire pipeline means a lot of hassle. Now, say goodbye to the complexities of setting up and fine-tuning large language models. The new era brings effortless, fast, and cost-effective solution, all managed by simple dialogue right from within your ChatGPT window. I'm introducing you to MonsterGPT. MonsterGPT agent enables developers to fine-tune and deploy LLMs by simply asking in natural language. No coding, no infra setup needed. The assistant handles it all for you. This is the moment of chat-powered LLM-Ops. MonsterGPT has one big mission: make fine-tuning and deployment of AI models easiest, fastest, and most affordable for developers across the globe. So from their official site, I'm just clicking on Get Started. It should open a ChatGPT window. And there I am in the CustomGPT's window named MonsterGPT. And of course, you need the ChatGPT Plus subscription, which is a requirement by OpenAI for you to use any CustomGPT. And my plan is to deploy a model that has already been fine-tuned earlier by MonsterGPT. So for selecting the model, I'm just going to the Hugging Face homepage of Monster API, and there you will see quite a few models which are already been fine-tuned using Monster API fine-tuning portal. All right, so I am looking for this one, Llama 3. Currently, it is absolutely the best model in this size. So I am going to just deploy it. And if you just open this model, this is a model card. So it says that funded by, shared by. Okay, these are all standard information. So basically, it's a fine-tuned version of Llama 3 8B. And just look at the files. Yeah, it's not too big, so it should be manageable. So I just ask it, I want to deploy Monster API Llama 3 8B, no robots. Yep, first it will ask me for my email. I just need to provide my email and they will send an OTP for authorization. And you copy that OTP and paste it back here, and then you're authorized. And then your deployment authorization is completed and you are ready with the deployment process. So let me complete that behind the scene. All right, so after I am authenticated, this CustomGPT asked me to confirm the model that needs to be deployed. So it said you were successfully authenticated. Now let's proceed with deploying this model. This is the exact model that I initially told this CustomGPT to deploy. Now, here it says that first, let me clarify that the correct model name for deployment should be Meta Llama A3B Instruct. I will set up the deployment using this model. Here are the deployment details. Base model Meta Llama 3B Instruct, GPU memory 48 GB, GPU count 1. Now, note that it gave me a different model, which is actually the absolutely popular base model from Meta. But I do not want to deploy this one because I already told initially that I want to deploy this one. So hence, let's see how to resolve this situation. So next, I just tell the CustomGPT that no, I want to deploy that specific model named Llama 3 8B no robots. So it again, the MonsterGPT again told me it appears the model Llama 3 8B no robots you are referencing isn't directly available or recognized in the standard listing or supported models by Monster API or Hugging Face. To proceed with deploying a model, it must be one of the supported models or available on HF. And then it says if Llama 3 8B no robots is a custom or private model you have, please ensure it's uploaded to a supported repository or available through a direct link. Now, we already saw that this is actually very much available. So for some reason, MonsterGPT said me different things, but let me just resolve that. So what I did is next that the specific model I mentioned is available indeed in Hugging Face, and I just pasted the actual full link, taking it from here to MonsterGPT and send the instruction again. And now, at last, MonsterGPT very confirmedly tells me, thank you for providing the Hugging Face link. Let me confirm the model details and then I will proceed with the deployment setup. And then the model Llama 3 8B No Robots is available on Hugging Face. We can proceed with deploying this model on Monster API. Here the suggested configuration. All right, so initially it was not finding that model somehow, but then when you actually provide the whole link, it very much finds it, and now it's ready to deploy the model and just gives me the overall configuration with which it wants to deploy. These settings are appropriate for an 8B parameter model. Shall I go ahead and initiate the deployment with this configuration? Yes, please. And then I got this. The deployment for the model has been successfully launched. The deployment ID is so and so. You can check the status of the deployment in a few minutes to see if it's live. If you need to perform any other operations or have further questions, feel free. All right, so currently it is provisioning the machine, that is the GPU, etc. for the deployment, and it is in the pending status, which you can check by coming to your dashboard. And here I am in my dashboard, and we can see that 12 May 4:13 AM it's pending. So it will take a couple of minutes to get started because it has to provision the machine, etc. And don't worry, your credit is not being consumed until it is in live status. Alright, after waiting for a couple of minutes, I can see my deployment currently is live. So the job is live and is currently serving request. So you can check the job info right here. So the amount of hard disk or the GPU VRAM that is allocated and all the parameters of your deployment are here, right here. So in this case, multi-LoRa false because I did not ask for LoRa to be true, and API auth token is right here. And all right, so all looks good now. And also you can check the logs. So view job logs. Say for example, you are waiting for it to go live, and what's happening during that time you can just check in here. So once you click here, deployment job logs will show here. Just wait for a second. Yeah. So the container was built for NVIDIA driver release 545.23 or later, but version 535.154 was detected. Okay, so it was it had to upgrade the NVIDIA driver as well, then get the model to the machine because it's Llama 3 8B based, so it's a relatively 7 to 8 GB of file. And then the other stuff, casting torch.bfloat 16, etc. Yes, so now as soon as it was live, the model loaded successfully, and then it started giving me this 200 OK HTTP status. All right, next step is to just launch the API endpoint. So right here, open the API endpoint for this in new tab. Yeah, you click on it and perfect. So this is my live environment currently, and this is for GET request and POST request. We are going to send a text generation request by asking this model, and so I'm going to use the POST endpoint here. And for that, I need to authorize this, and once you click authorize, it will ask you for your HTTP bearer token. And because if you go to Monster API's documentation, you will clearly see mention that this is based on for the authorization, you need the bearer token. So I can get the bearer token right from here. You just click here, copy API auth key. Yeah, that's one I need. Just copy it, go back there and paste it here. Authorize. Yeah, perfect. As soon as you are authorized, it will show you these options. You can either close or log out. Okay, and now to actually send the text generation request, just click on generate, and you will immediately see all these details. That is, generate an output from the model. The request should be in JSON object with the following fields, and then it just defines all the individual parameters of a LLM deployment with VLLM. So because you know that VLLM is being used by Monster API in the backend. So all these parameters are very much standard ones when you are dealing with deployment with VLLM. For example, max token is an integer representing the maximum number of tokens. N is the number of outputs to generate. Presence penalty, frequency penalty, etc. Repetition penalty. Top K, an integer controlling the number of highest probability vocabulary tokens to keep for top K filtering. If set to -1, no filtering is applied. Yeah, so you can actually mention the values for each of these. So you have really granular level of control on this API. And this is that JSON which will be sent to the API endpoint. And you see that I cannot edit it here at all. That's because I need to click here, try it out. As soon as I try it out, all these fields will become editable. And for all the values for now, I'm just going to go with the default values except the prompt. That's where your question should come as a string. And I just typed this particular prompt here. What is the capital of France? It's a rather easy question. That's because I'm testing out a very small model, the smallest version of Llama 3. So let's just execute it. Okay, after executing, I got the response in the response body. Paris, France is a country located in Western Europe with Spain in the southern border. All right, so there should have been comma after Paris because my question was what is the capital of France? So it directly did not answer Paris. It should be just Paris and then a full period, and then the next statement should start. But remember, again, I'm using a very small model, so it's a drawback of the model that it could not generate the absolutely correct formatted answer. But that's all right. That's a different topic altogether. So yeah, that's how you test your Monster API deployed public API. And remember, this is a public API endpoint, so you can integrate it with any of your mobile app or web app or whatever. Okay, and now I just want to check the status of the deployment from MonsterGPT. So I just ask it what's the status of the deployment and how much credit it has consumed. Let's see how it applies. Cool, it just gave me all the information that I needed. Deployment status, live, deployment URL is this, credit consumed 395 credits, deployment created at so-and-so timestamp. And you can now start using the model via the provided URL if you need further assistance. Okay, perfect. So that's so you can always remain updated with the deployment status right from ChatGPT. And remember, as soon as your status of the deployment changes, immediately you will be notified in your email as well. So for each of these steps, I got a email in my Gmail, which was given to the Monster API with the status. Now, I just want to terminate this. So let's see if it will terminate. Terminate the deployed live deployment now. Cool. The live deployment has been successfully terminated. If there's anything else you need help, okay. Yeah, so you could definitely terminate it from MonsterGPT as well. And as soon as it got terminated, I also received the immediate notification in my email, just like this. All right, so that's the whole life cycle of the deployment very much. And it's incredible that I could control the entire pipeline, entire life cycle of it right from ChatGPT. So I would very much say this is the fastest and the easiest way to deploy a large language model while having VLLM working for you in the backend for high throughput text generation.